Welcome to the deep dive. So, you've given us your sources, and well, our job is pretty simple. We dig through them, find the absolute gold, the surprising insights, the actionable stuff so you feel instantly informed without getting totally overwhelmed.
Hmm.
Today, we're plunging into the really fascinating world of effective marketing and the psychology behind it all.
Right, and we're basing this on a conversation with Harry Dry, the guy behind Marketing Examples.
Yes, marketing examples. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
Oh, definitely. It's basically this amazing collection of, like, real-world marketing wins, broken down so you see why they actually worked, and it's clearly hit a nerve.
Totally. I mean, 90,000 newsletter subscribers, 100,000 on Twitter. He's definitely onto something.
For sure.
So our mission for this deep dive, unpack his lessons, find those aha moments, and really figure out what makes marketing click. Shall we get started?
Let's do it. So first off, Harry's background is kind of interesting, isn't it? He didn't come from marketing originally.
No, not at all. He was a web developer in London, just working a normal day job.
Right.
But he had that itch, wanted to build his own thing. So he started writing these marketing examples in the evenings.
And the key thing is, like you said, he wasn't some marketing guru.
Exactly.
He was just finding stuff he thought was cool, sharing it, and trying to figure out, okay, why did this work? It was all curiosity. Learning out loud, basically.
And super consistent. An article every night for 3 months. That's commitment.
Wow, yeah. Then he had this breakthrough moment. He met someone from Email Octopus at an event.
Ah, the sponsorship.
Yeah, they offered to sponsor the site. Started small, just a few £100s a month, apparently.
But that was enough, wasn't it?
It seems like it was the catalyst. It gave him the wiggle room to cut back his day job hours and put more energy into Marketing Examples.
A classic side project success story, kind of.
Totally. And it obviously worked out for Email Octopus, too, because the referrals started coming and the sponsorship grew. That let Harry go full-time on it.
And fast forward a couple of years, he's now this go-to source for tons of people.
Right.
So let's talk about his own marketing, because he made this very specific choice, didn't he? Changing the name from Good Marketing Examples to Harry's Marketing Examples.
Yes. And this is where it gets really interesting, I think. His whole thinking was about this basic human thing.
Yeah.
We connect way more with people than with, faceless brands.
Okay.
She asked this question, think about your own social media. Who do you actually follow? How many brands versus actual people, friends, maybe celebs you find interesting?
That's a really good point. My feed is, mostly people, friends, people whose work I like, not many brands yelling at me.
Exactly. So Harry tapped into that idea that fundamentally people buy from friends.
Yeah.
Maybe that's simplifying it a bit, but the core idea is trust, connection.
Right.
A personal connection. Even just feeling like someone's real online, maybe they reply to your email, that builds way more trust and engagement.
So the insight here is pretty clear. People connect with people, not logos. Personal connection drives engagement.
Precisely. And he had this great example, Ben Foster, the goalkeeper, versus Watford Football Club on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading about that.
So Watford, the club, history, marketing team, all that. Maybe 170,000 subscribers. Ben Foster starts his own channel way later.
And blows past them, right, over 1 million.
Yeah, because Ben Foster, the individual, can build that personal connection. He can, text his mates, share his life in a way a club just can't. It feels different.
You feel like you're getting a peek into his world, not just being marketed to by an organization.
Exactly. And Harry thinks this is the future, basically. He even said HubSpot, the big marketing tech company.
Yeah.
They were apparently interested in buying Marketing Examples specifically because they see content becoming more individual-led.
Interesting. So why do individuals connect so strongly? What did he say?
Well, a few things. Like the direct interaction, him replying to emails personally.
Yeah.
The personal sign-offs. Little things that just make it feel more, human, approachable.
Yeah, less corporate.
Totally. It's tough for a big brand to copy that feel.
It makes me think of that study, the psychology study about charity donations, Paul Slovit.
Oh, the identifiable victim effect, yes.
Right, where people give way more money when they hear a story about one specific person, like Rokia, the little girl in Malawi.
Compared to just hearing stats about, 3 million kids needing food.
Exactly. The single story just hits differently. It creates empathy, that connection. The stats are just abstract numbers. People gave almost twice as much for Rokia's story.
And wasn't there another part where even comparing one story to, 8 individual stories?
Yeah, the single story still got more donations. It's like we have a limit on how many individual tragedies we can really connect with at once.
Which, if you theme out, makes sense historically, right? Big faceless brands are pretty new. Maybe 200 years old, as Harry pointed out. But humans, we've spent millennia learning to trust and connect with other people. That's baked into us. Brands are kind of this recent invention on top of that.
And lots of the really old brands are named after people, aren't they? Greg's, W.H. Smith, Marks and Spencer. Maybe that wasn't an accident. Tapped into that trust in individuals.
Could be. So Harry putting his name on it wasn't just ego, it was smart, grounded in how people actually work.
Right. Insight. Personal branding tacks into our deep-seated need to connect with individual.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Wordle.
Ah, Wordle. Came out of nowhere, took over the internet. What was Harry's take on why it just exploded?
Well, he thought a few things were key. First, the story behind it. The creator, Josh Wardle, supposedly just made it for his girlfriend.
Right, it wasn't some big commercial venture from the start.
Exactly. That narrative felt genuine, especially compared to apps constantly trying to get your money. It felt, I don't know, pure.
Yeah, authentic. That helps. What else?
Then there's the game itself. Super simple, right? Takes like 5 minutes, perfect for a quick break.
Totally. Low commitment.
And the synchronous part was huge. Everyone playing the same word each day.
Oh, yeah, that created the buzz, didn't it? Everyone talking about the same puzzle at the same time.
Created that shared experience. You'd see everyone posting their green and yellow squares on Twitter.
Those grids, they were everywhere.
And that sharing mechanism was just brilliant. You could just copy the emoji grid straight to social media. It showed your result without anyone needing to click a link.
Frictionless sharing. Clever.
Super clever. It instantly communicated the game's value, sort of.
Now, didn't you find some extra points about Wordle's success from the Nudge podcast, was it?
Yeah, they had a good breakdown. 4 key psychological drivers. First, social proof. Simple idea. You see other people doing it, you want to join in. FOMO.
Makes sense.
Second, the IKEA effect. You know, how we value stuff more if we put effort into making it.
Like assembling flat pack furniture.
Exactly. So creating your unique emoji grid made you feel ownership, made you more likely to share your result.
Huh. Look what I did. Even if it took 6 guesses.
Right. Third was distinctiveness. They called it the von Riesdorf effect. Basically, things that stand out are more memorable.
Like those weird colored blocks in your feed?
Totally stood out. Hard to ignore. Improved recall. And finally, scarcity. Only one puzzle a day.
Ah, that keeps you coming back. Creates a habit.
Yep. You know you only get one shot, so you make time for it.
Wow. So it was this perfect storm of simplicity, timing, sharing, and all these psychological triggers.
Pretty much. Insight. Wordle combines simplicity, shared experience, easy sharing, and psychology, like social proof and distinctiveness for viral success.
Okay, from digital virality to something very physical and luxurious. The press for champagne button.
Ah, yes. At Bob Ricard in Soho, have you heard of this?
I have. Sounds amazing. A button at your table, press it, champagne arrives. Genius. And apparently they sell more champagne than anywhere else in London.
That's the claim. And Harry's breakdown of why it works is fascinating. First, it just obliterates friction. Well, think about ordering champagne normally. Catch the waiter's eye, maybe look at a list. Here, boom, press the button, done.
Effortless extravagance.
Exactly. But it's not just convenience, it's the novelty. It's unexpected. Harry said it's zigging when everybody zags. You just don't see that anywhere else.
It makes them stand out for sure.
And there's that, like, childlike thing, a button that says press for champagne. You kind of have to press it, right? Just to see.
Oh, totally. The temptation would be immense, even if you weren't planning on champagne.
Right. Harry said he'd probably press it multiple times. It just shows how powerful, simple, creative ideas can be. We get lost in data sometimes, but this is just intuitive, fun.
And the call to action itself, press for champagne, 3 words, super clear.
So simple. It perfectly fits the East framework from the Behavioral Insights team. Easy, attractive, social, timely. This nails the easy.
Make it easy. Remove the friction.
Yeah. It's like Daniel Kahneman's idea about behavior change. Sometimes it's easier to remove the handbrake, stopping people,
than to keep pushing the accelerator, trying to motivate them.
Exactly. Make the desired action the path of least resistance. Like that study on signing parents up for text message tips.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that one.
Okay, so asking parents to actively text to sign up got like a 1% conversion rate. Tiny.
Okay.
But when they automatically enrolled parents and just gave them an easy way to opt out if they wanted, 93% stayed subscribed.
Whoa. 1% versus 93%, just by changing the default.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Removing that tiny bit of friction, that initial step, made all the difference. Insight. Removing friction is often way more effective than adding motivation. Make it easy.
Like the champagne button.
Yeah.
Or even marketing examples itself, right? Easy access to ideas, less friction than reading dense books.
Exactly. He practices what he preaches.
Okay, let's talk about another tool Harry uses, social proof. Specifically, how he uses it for his newsletter.
Right. He mentioned trying something interesting. Instead of just saying X thousand subscribers, he'd highlight the daily growth.
Like what?
Like putting in his emails. P.S. Around 400 new people are joining this newsletter every day right now. Something like that.
So it's about the momentum. Not just the total number, but the fact that it's actively growing now?
Precisely. Harry thinks celebrating wins, showing that forward motion, is kind of an underrated tactic. It brings people along for the ride, makes them feel part of something successful.
Creates that FOMO again. If 400 people join today, maybe I should too.
Exactly. It's called dynamic social proof, showing growth, increasing adoption, and it works even if you aren't the biggest fish in the pond yet. It shows a positive trend.
So that's different from just static social proof. Like we have 80,000 subscribers, which is good, but maybe less urgent feeling.
Yeah, less immediate momentum. And there's that study, Sparkman and Walton, about menus and meat-free options.
How did that work?
Well, saying 30% of Americans reduce meat consumption. Static fact actually made people less likely to choose meat-free. Sort of negative social proof, like most people still eat meat.
Huh.
But framing it dynamically, 30% of Americans have started reducing meat consumption in the last 5 years. That's significantly increased meat-free choices.
Because it shows a trend, a movement.
Exactly. The emphasis on recent change, positive direction. That's powerful. Insight, dynamic social proof showing recent growth, often beats static numbers.
So Harry highlighting daily signups taps right into that. Clever.
Very. Okay, shall we dive into some of Harry's specific favorite marketing examples? What he thinks is really smart.
Yeah, let's do it. First one, Jack Grealish's socks. The footballer.
Yeah. Seems random, but Harry sees it as pure differentiation.
How so? His socks are just low.
But consistently low. In a sea of players with socks pulled up high, Grealish's look is instantly recognizable. It makes him stand out.
It's that von Ristorff effect again. Distinctiveness aids memory.
Exactly. Like Richard Shotton's research showing a fast food brand remembered better when shown among car brands. Grealish's socks make him visually distinct on the pitch. Harry even joked it gave him a bit of a Georgie Best rebellious vibe.
Interesting. A simple visual quirk becoming a brand element. Insight. Being deliberately different, even visually, boosts memorability.
Right. Okay, next one. Heinz. Beans means Heinz.
A classic. What's the insight there?
Harry loved the story behind it. Apparently, the copywriter was just messing around, scribbling, playing with words, changed beans means with an S to beans means with a Z.
And that little tweak made it rhyme, made it stick.
Exactly. And the bigger point is making it yours. That slogan is so uniquely Heinz, no one else could use it. It's not generic.
Plus the power of rhyme for memory, right? Shotton talks about that too.
Yep. Make it unique, make it memorable, insight, unique, ownable copy, maybe using simple tricks like rhyme really sticks.
Good lesson. Okay, next, Hinge. The dating app designed to be deleted.
Great example of a challenger brand finding its angle. Tinder, Bumble, often seen as more casual, maybe endless swiping. Hinge went the other way.
Positioned itself for serious relationships.
Right. And that tagline is genius. Harry called it, "Pain is the pitch." Addressing the user's pain point head on. The frustration of being stuck on dating apps. Hinge says, "We want you to succeed so much, you won't need us anymore."
It's bold and memorable. That alliteration helps too. Dating app design deleted.
Definitely. Short, clear positioning. Powerful stuff. Insight. Address customer pain points directly, even counterintuitively.
Okay, another one. World's strongest gay. What's the principle there?
This is all about niching down. Narrow your scope until you're number one in your niche.
Right. Better to be number one in a specific category than, say, number 5 in a huge, broad one.
Exactly. Being the 5th strongest man isn't that memorable. But world's strongest gay, that's specific, unique, creates a clear identity and attracts a dedicated audience.
Like being the number 1 diversity recruitment platform instead of just another recruiter.
Precisely. Challenges that idea, you always have to target the biggest possible market immediately. Sometimes, dominate a niche first. Insight. Niching down can make you a memorable leader in a specific field.
Makes sense. Last one, Patagonia, don't buy this jacket.
Oh yeah, that Black Friday campaign. Legendary.
Talk about zigging when everyone else sags.
Totally. Everyone else is screaming, B by Y, sale more.
Yeah.
And Patagonia runs an ad telling people, maybe don't buy this. Consider if you need it.
It cut through everything. You had to notice it.
And it wasn't just a stunt. It tied perfectly into their core values.
Yep.
Environmentalism, anti-consumerism, repairing clothes.
It felt authentic to them.
Completely. Harry even brought up that old story about potatoes in Prussia.
How Frederick the Great made them popular.
Yeah, by making them seem exclusive and desirable through reverse psychology, guarding the fields even though they were meant for the public. Patagonia kind of did the opposite, urging restraint, which also made them stand out and reinforce their brand. Insight. Align marketing with values, and sometimes going against the grain grabs major attention.
Powerful stuff when values and marketing align like that. Okay, so after all these examples, does Harry have like a current favorite piece of copywriting, something he thinks is brilliant right now?
Well, interestingly, he said he's not always wowed by super clever, twisty copywriting.
Ooh.
His current top example is actually super simple. NordVPN's tagline.
Which is?
The VPN that just works.
Huh. That is simple. Almost blunt.
And that's why he likes it. It cuts through all the tech jargon and all the confusion around VPNs and just nails the core customer need. What do people want from a VPN, really?
For it to. Just work. Without hassle.
Exactly. It's direct, benefit-focused. Harry thinks we often overcomplicate things in marketing. Sometimes the clearest message is the best. Like, free beer.
Huh. Yeah, universally understood.
No clever wordplay needed. In a world where everyone's busy and bombarded with messages, clear and concise wins. Insight. Simple, clear messaging focused on the core benefit is often the most powerful. Don't overcomplicate.
Solve the customer's problem, tell them clearly. Got it.
Pretty much.
Well, this has been incredibly illuminating, a real deep dive into Harry Dry's insights and the psychology behind what works in marketing. We've covered a lot.
We really have. From, the power of being personal, connecting human to human.
Right, and understanding those triggers like social proof, novelty.
Yeah, and the effectiveness of just keeping things simple, clear messaging.
And daring to be different, to stand out.
Definitely. Key themes running through it all.
And it's a great reminder for you listening that sometimes it's just small shifts based on these kinds of principles that can actually make a really big difference.
Absolutely. So as you think about all these examples, Wordle, the champagne button, Hinge, Patagonia, maybe take a second. How could these ideas apply to what you do, your interests, your work? What stands out to you?
And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. What's a seemingly simple idea in your field, something that could remove a bit of friction or tap into a really basic human desire? What simple thing could create a huge impact?
Yeah, something to ponder. We definitely recommend checking out Marketing Examples for more inspiration. It's a great resource.
For sure. And let us know what other topics you'd like us to take a deep dive into next time. Thanks for joining us.